When discussing the most influential figures in the history of Bitcoin, one name consistently stands out: Michael Saylor. While he did not invent Bitcoin like Satoshi Nakamoto, Saylor fundamentally changed how businesses and institutional investors viewed it. His bold decision to make Bitcoin the primary treasury reserve asset of his company transformed corporate finance and inspired organizations worldwide. Michael Saylor was born on February in Lincoln, Nebraska, USA. As the son of a U.S. Air Force officer, he spent much of his childhood living on military bases. This upbringing taught him discipline, adaptability, and perseverance. Saylor attended the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he studied aeronautics and astronautics as well as science, technology, and society. Although he originally hoped to become a pilot, a medical condition prevented him from joining the Air Force as a pilot. Instead, he turned his attention toward technology and entrepreneurship. Saylor co-founded Strategy, a company specializing in business intelligence analytics and enterprise software. The company's software helped organizations analyze large amounts of data to make better business decisions. Strategy grew rapidly during the 1990s and became one of the leading business analytics companies. Its success made Saylor one of the youngest billionaires during the dot-com boom. Although the company experienced significant challenges after the technology bubble burst, Saylor remained committed and continued leading the business for decades. The global economy was facing uncertainty due to the COVID pandemic. Governments around the world increased money creation and lowered interest rates, raising concerns about inflation and the declining purchasing power of cash. Saylor began researching ways to protect his company reserves. He studied gold, real estate bonds, and other traditional assets before turning his attention toward Bitcoin. After months of research, he concluded that Bitcoin possessed unique characteristics: a fixed maximum supply of million coins, a decentralized network not controlled by any government, strong security through blockchain technology, portability and divisibility, growing global acceptance. He described Bitcoin as a form of digital property capable of preserving value over the long term. In August, Strategy announced that it had purchased Bitcoin as its primary treasury reserve asset. This was a groundbreaking decision because publicly traded companies traditionally held cash, government bonds, or other conventional investments. Saylor believed that keeping large amounts of cash exposed companies to inflation, while Bitcoin offered greater long-term potential. The announcement shocked financial markets and attracted worldwide attention. Many investors initially questioned the move, but Saylor remained confident in his strategy. After the initial purchase, Strategy continued acquiring more Bitcoin over the following years. The company financed additional purchases through cash reserves, debt offerings, and other financial instruments. Over time, it became the world's largest corporate holder of Bitcoin. This strategy transformed Strategy into one of the most closely watched companies in global finance. Investors began viewing it not only as a software company but also as a major corporate Bitcoin holder. Michael Saylor became one of Bitcoin's most recognizable public advocates. He appeared on podcasts, television interviews, conferences, and educational events explaining Bitcoin in simple language. Rather than focusing on short-term price movements, he emphasized Bitcoin's long-term role as a scarce digital asset. His presentations on economics, inflation, and digital property have been viewed millions of times and introduced countless people to Bitcoin. Perhaps Saylor's greatest contribution was changing how corporations think about treasury management. Before Strategy decision, very few companies considered Bitcoin a serious reserve asset. Afterward, businesses, institutional investors, asset managers, and even governments began exploring Bitcoin as part of their financial strategies. His leadership demonstrated that a publicly traded company could incorporate Bitcoin into its balance sheet at a significant scale. Michael Saylor believes in making decisions based on long-term conviction rather than short-term market sentiment. Some of his guiding principles include: think decades ahead instead of focusing on daily market fluctuations. Invest in assets with long-term scarcity. Continue learning and adapting. Be willing to make bold decisions when supported by careful research. Maintain conviction during periods of uncertainty. These ideas have inspired entrepreneurs, investors, and business leaders around the world. Saylor Bitcoin strategy has also attracted criticism. Bitcoin is highly volatile and strategy has experienced large swings in the reported value of its holdings. Some analysts argue that concentrating so much corporate cap